In Hollywood, the journey to fame is often glamorous, but the path behind the scenes can be a different story altogether, especially for Black actors. Not everyone has been able to sustain their career in the industry, even if many have succeeded, especially when they have dared to reveal Hollywood's murky side. Some of the most gifted performers have reached their breaking points as a result of systemic racism, exploitation, and the industry's resistance to embracing real Black stories. These celebrities' careers suffered greatly as a result of speaking out against the injustices they experienced, demonstrating that Hollywood's smiles are occasionally a front for a harsh reality. Black performers like Isaiah Washington and Monique's experiences serve as sobering reminders of the costs associated with questioning the current system. These actors made a position knowing it could cost them everything, from losing lucrative parts to being blacklisted. Despite Hollywood's passion of showcasing diversity on film, the real problems in the industry are exposed by the conflicts that take place off-screen. Truth-tellers, or individuals who pull back the curtain to expose structural issues, frequently encounter a severe and unfair response. The continuous fight for real equality in the entertainment industry is demonstrated by the 7 Black actors whose careers were severely ruined for criticizing Hollywood's treatment of Black talent. 1. Monique, the cost of raising your voice. In the past, Monique was a Hollywood rising star who won an Academy Award for Best Supporting Actress for her roles in movies like Precious. But after she publicly denounced Hollywood's discriminatory practices, specifically pointing fingers at big names like Oprah Winfrey, Tyler Perry, and Lee Daniels, her career took a sharp turn for the worst. After Monique refused to take part in the Precious advertising circuit without receiving extra compensation, she said that the industry blackballed her. Additionally, she brought attention to the differences in pay between Black and white actresses. Her choice to speak up cost her lucrative positions and caused her to be unemployed in the sector for a long time. 2. Isaiah Washington, speaking out at a price. The most well-known character that Isaiah Washington has played is that of Dr. Preston Burke on the hit medical drama Grey's Anatomy. But when he was removed from the show in 2007 after being accused of using a homophobic slur at a co-star, his career came to a crashing halt. Washington asserted that the producers and network executives of the show treated him unfairly and that the incident was exaggerated. Later, he addressed Hollywood's institutional racism, emphasizing how Black performers were frequently subjected to harsher punishment for their errors and held to unequal standards. Washington became a pariah for his outspoken criticism of the industry's unfair practices, and he thereafter had trouble finding steady employment. 3. Walking Away from Millions by Dave Chappelle. The revolutionary sketch comedy series Chappelle's Show, which pushed boundaries and tackled difficult racial themes, was the pinnacle of Dave Chappelle's career. Chappelle famously turned down a $50 million agreement and took a self-imposed break, despite the show's enormous success. He later disclosed that he made the choice in part because he was uncomfortable with how both executives and viewers were reacting to and understanding the show's racial comedy. Chappelle talked openly about the industry's abusive practices and the pressure to live up to Hollywood's standards. His decision to leave at the height of his career was a potent act of rebellion against a system he believed was exploiting him and his creativity, even though he later made a comeback to the spotlight with new stand-up specials on Netflix. 4. Defying Hollywood Stereotypes with Cicely Tyson. By selecting parts that went against the conventional representations of Black women, Cicely Tyson was a trailblazer in Hollywood. Despite her successful career, she encountered a lot of criticism for her refusal to accept parts that she believed were insulting or perpetuated negative stereotypes. Tyson spoke out the restricted chances accessible to Black women and openly blasted the industry's lack of meaningful representation for them, because casting directors and studios frequently selected less outspoken actresses who were prepared to accept conventional roles. Her outspoken personality resulted in a fall in major roles. Tyson's later career comeback, which included parts in The Help and How to Get Away with Murder, demonstrated her brilliance and tenacity, but it came after years of being shunned because she didn't fit in. 5. Nate Parker, A Rising Star's Decline. After the success of his film, The Birth of a Nation, in which he wrote, directed, and starred, Nate Parker was praised as a potential actor and filmmaker. During the awards season, the movie, which was based on the tale of Nat Turner's slave revolt, was anticipated to be a strong candidate. However, a previous case of sexual assault from Parker's college years came to light as he started to speak out about America's racial history and the structural problems in Hollywood. Despite his acquittal, the case's fresh attention caused a popular outcry and essentially put a stop to his Hollywood career. Parker has insisted that the resurgence of his case was a concerted attempt to discredit him, implying that he was singled out because of his vocalness regarding racial issues. He still has obstacles in the industry, therefore his career hasn't totally recovered. 6. Reprimanded for speaking the truth. John Amos. Known for his work on Good Times and Roots, John Amos was a well-liked television personality in the 1970s and 1980s. However, after he was let go from Good Times, his career took a turn for the worse. Amos and the show's producers had often disagreed about how black families were portrayed, with Amos claiming that the program was perpetuating unfavorable stereotypes instead of offering a true picture of African American life. He was fired because he insisted on keeping his character's dignity and reality, and he later had trouble landing major parts. Amos's career setbacks serve as a reminder of the dangers black performers face when they refuse to conform to damaging stereotypes and seek greater representation. 7. Paul Robeson. Activism Blacklisted. One of the most well-known black performers of the early 20th century was Paul Robeson, a renowned singer, actor, and civil rights advocate. However, he was placed on the Hollywood blacklist during the McCarthy era due to his vocal opposition to racial injustice and his strong political convictions. Robeson's career in the United States was essentially over when his passport was canceled because to his outspoken opposition to American imperialism and support for civil rights. His music was no longer aired on American radio stations, and he was prohibited from appearing in movies and television shows. Robeson's narrative serves as a potent illustration of how Hollywood has historically used blacklisting and other types of retaliation to punish people who question the existing quo, silencing black voices that dared to speak out against structural oppression. Conclusion: as we've seen, the experiences of black Hollywood stars who dared to speak out against the system's long-standing injustices serve as a sobering reminder of the price of doing the right thing. In an industry that feeds on the appearance of diversity, these performers took enormous risks to draw attention to the differences in representation, pay, and treatment. These celebrities have persevered by using their platforms to carry on the struggle for accountability and equity, in spite of the criticism they have received, whether it has taken the form of blacklisting, losing important positions, or watching their careers stagnate. Let us know in the comments what you think about the black actors who lost their career for exposing Hollywood, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more captivating content on our YouTube channel.